Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. You know, everyone's always talking about the best places to buy real estate, but today, we're flipping the script. We're diving into the top 10 locations you might want to avoid when you're on the hunt for that dream home. Look, buying a property is a huge decision, probably one of the biggest investments you'll ever make. You don't want to end up stuck in a money pit, right? We're talking about protecting your hard-earned cash and making sure you're making a smart, informed decision. So whether you're a first-time buyer dipping your toes in the market or a seasoned investor looking for your next flip, this video is for you. Stick around, because knowing where not to buy is just as important as knowing where to buy. Let's get started. Let's get.
Number one on our list might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people overlook it. High crime areas. Look, I get it. Sometimes those super cheap deals can be tempting, but trust me, saving a few bucks isn't worth sacrificing your peace of mind. Before you even think about making an offer, do your research. Check those local crime statistics. Websites like Neighborhood Scout or Crime Reports can give you a pretty good picture of what's happening in a particular area. There are a lot of break-ins, assaults. You need to know this stuff. And remember, a high crime rate doesn't just impact your safety, it can seriously drag down your property value. Think about it. Would you want to pay top dollar for a house in an area where you don't feel safe? Probably not. Plus, let's talk about insurance for a second. Higher crime rates often mean higher insurance premiums. So that cheap house could end up costing you way more in the long run. Do your homework, folks. It's always better to be safe than sorry.
Number 2, flood zones. All right, picture this. You find your dream home. It's got everything you've ever wanted, and the price is unbelievably low. Sounds too good to be true? It might be. That's because it could be located in a flood zone. Look, I get the appeal. Sometimes these properties are absolute steals, but you need to understand the risks involved. We're talking potential for serious damage, not just to your belongings, but to the structure of your house itself. And don't even get me started on flood insurance. It can be mandatory in these areas, and trust me, it's not cheap. We're talking thousands of dollars per year. Easy. That's money that could be going towards your mortgage, investments, or even just fun stuff. Before you sign on the dotted line, check those flood maps. FEMA has a great website where you can plug in the address and see the flood risk level. Don't just rely on the seller to tell you, do your own due diligence.
Coming in at number 3, we've got near industrial zones. Now, some people might not mind this as much, but let's be real. Living next to a factory or a warehouse isn't exactly glamorous. First off, the noise. We're talking constant humming, beeping, maybe even the occasional explosion, hopefully not. Not exactly what you want to be hearing when you're trying to relax in your backyard, right? Then there's the pollution factor. Factories can release all sorts of nasty stuff into the air, and that can't be good for your health. Plus, it can attract pests, which is just gross. And if that wasn't enough, being close to an industrial zone can seriously impact your property value. Let's face it, not many people are lining up to buy a house that smells like chemicals and has trucks rumbling by at all hours. Stick to more residential areas, you'll thank me later.
Number 4 on our list is bad schools. Now you might be thinking, Graham, I don't even have kids. Why should I care about the schools? And that's a fair point. But here's the thing. Good schools equal good resale value. Think about it. Families with kids, they're willing to pay a premium to be in a good school district. So even if you're planning on staying in your home for a while, having good schools nearby will make it that much easier to sell down the line. On the flip side, if you're in an area with poorly rated schools, your pool of potential buyers shrinks drastically. And that means you might have to lower your asking price to attract offers. Not ideal, right? So do your research. Websites like greatschools.org can give you a good idea of how schools in a particular area stack up. It's a small detail that can make a big difference in the long run. Number 3, flood zones. All right, picture this. You find your dream home. It's got everything you've ever wanted, and the price is unbelievably low. Sounds too good to be true? It might be. That's because it could be located in a flood zone. Before you even think about making an offer, do your research. Websites like greatschools.org can give you a good idea of how schools in a particular area stack up. It's a small detail that can make a big difference in the long run.
Coming in at number 5, we have high traffic areas. Now this one might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people overlook the impact of traffic on their quality of life. Imagine this. You finally find the perfect house. It's got the backyard, the updated kitchen, everything you've ever wanted. But there's just one problem. It's located on a busy street with cars whizzing by at all hours of the day and night. Not exactly the peaceful oasis you were envisioning, right? Constant traffic noise can be incredibly stressful, not to mention dangerous if you have kids or pets. And don't even get me started on the air pollution. Cars are notorious polluters, and living near a busy road means you're breathing in all those nasty fumes. So before you fall in love with a house, take a drive-by during peak traffic hours. It might just save you a whole lot of headaches down the line.
Number 6 on our list is a bit of a downer, but it's important to talk about deteriorating neighborhoods. Now, no neighborhood stays the same forever, but there are some telltale signs that an area might be on the decline, and you want to be aware of them before you invest your hard-earned money. Keep an eye out for things like vacant properties. A few empty houses here and there might not be a big deal, but if a whole block is boarded up, that's a red flag. It could be a sign of a struggling local economy or a lack of interest from buyers. Another thing to look out for is neglected properties. Are yards overgrown? Are houses falling apart? This could indicate that residents aren't taking pride in their community, which can lead to further decline. Remember, you're not just buying a house, you're buying into a neighborhood, so choose wisely. Number 7 on our list is all about convenience, too far from amenities. Now, some people might fantasize about living off the grid, miles away from civilization. And hey, more power to them. But for the rest of us, being close to amenities is a huge plus. Think about it. How far are you willing to drive for groceries? To go to the gym? To see a doctor? If the answer is an hour each way, you might want to reconsider your location. Living far from amenities can be incredibly inconvenient. It can also eat into your free time and even cost you more in gas money. Plus, let's be real, it can get pretty lonely out there in the boonies. Aim for a location that strikes a good balance between tranquility and convenience. You'll thank me later. At number 8, we've got limited future development. Now, this one might not seem like a big deal, especially if you're planning on staying in your home for a long time. But if you ever plan on selling, it's something to consider. Areas with strict zoning laws or limited space for new construction might not see the same kind of appreciation as areas with more growth potential. It's all about supply and demand. If the supply of homes is limited, but the demand is high, prices go up. On the other hand, if there's not a lot of room for new development, the pool of potential buyers might be smaller, which could impact your resale value down the line. So before you buy, do some research on the local zoning laws and see what the future development plans are for the area. It could save you a lot of money in the long run.
Coming in at number 9, we've got a stinky one: proximity to landfills or waste facilities. Now, I don't think I need to tell you why living next to a landfill is a bad idea. The smell alone is enough to make you want to hold your breath every time you step outside. But it's not just about the odor. Landfills can release harmful pollutants into the air and water, which can have serious health consequences. Plus, they can attract pests like rats and flies, which is just no thank you. And let's not forget about the impact on your property value. Would you want to buy a house that smells like garbage? Probably not. So before you sign on the dotted line, do your research and make sure your dream home isn't located near a landfill.
And finally, number 10 on our list is areas with high rental density. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with renting, but when an entire neighborhood is dominated by rental properties, it can sometimes lead to a lack of stability and community investment. Think about it. Homeowners tend to take more pride in their properties and are more likely to be involved in the community. They're putting down roots, literally. Renters, on the other hand, might be more transient, moving in and out every year or two. This isn't always the case, of course, but it's something to keep in mind. A good mix of homeowners and renters is usually a good sign. It means there's a sense of community and that people are invested in the neighborhood.
There you have it, folks. Our top 10 locations to avoid when you're on the hunt for a new home. Remember, buying a house is a huge decision, so don't rush into it. Take your time, do your research, and don't be afraid to walk away if something doesn't feel right. There are tons of great deals out there, but there are also plenty of pitfalls to avoid. The more informed you are, the better equipped you'll be to make a smart, financially sound decision. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more real estate tips and tricks. And as always, thanks for watching.